God bless you, everybody. This is really, I mean it for real this time. This is really going to be a very quick um, recording. So, God showed me a couple nights ago. I was counseling someone in my dream, and I didn't see who it was, but I was just speaking to someone. And I know when I do that in a dream, that God wants me to, um, put it out there, put the wisdom out there. And so what I was saying was to this person, I was saying, don't let anyone undermine your authority. Don't let anyone undermine your authority when it comes to raising your children. Don't let anyone undermine your authority. Because what it does is that when someone undermines your authority, your children lose respect for you. They lose respect for you. And so you could be raising a child in their younger years, and when that authority gets undermined, it's really going to be hard to rein them in when they get into their teenage years. And so God was just basically saying that you should not let anyone undermine your authority. And you may think, well, where would that come in at? But I need you to take a look at your life and who's involved in your life. It could be the kids' grandparents. Now that they are notorious for undermining the parents' authority, and I'm not saying that they're doing it for a malicious reason, but a lot of times they will come in and undermine your authority, knowing good and darn well they didn't raise you that, let you do whatever you wanted to do. They didn't let you eat, bonbons and cupcakes 24/7 when you was growing up. But for whatever reason, they want to just, undermine your authority when it comes to boundaries that you set in place for your kids. And and I know I'm making light of it, and I'm saying, cupcakes and things like that, but it could be even deeper things than that. It could be, you telling the child that, they can only go so far down the road, or, they're not allowed to go into somebody's house, or it could be anything that you're trying to set boundaries for, and then the grandparent will come in and undermine that authority. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be the grandparent. It could be coming from any area. It could be the teacher undermining your authority. It could be society as a whole undermining your authority. It could be relatives, people that are looking into your situation. They're on the outside looking into your situation, and they're saying, well, why are you so strict? Why won't you let the kids spend the night over this person's house, and why won't you let them watch this program or play this video game? And they don't understand spiritual things, so they think that you're being over the top. They think that you're being crazy. I mean, I've had experience with this, because I can recall people looking at me crazy because I wouldn't let my kids watch a certain popular movie. Just wouldn't let them watch it. And they just, oh, okay, you're just, you're some type of crazy radical or something like that. You call me what you want, but there's certain things that I will not allow, in my house. Now, when that child decides that they want to turn 18 and they, have their own place, and they want to look at all types of crazy stuff, that's on them. But I know that I did my part while they were in my home, and I had to just trust that what I taught them, that they will not depart from it, and that the Lord will guide and see them through. But the emphasis on this message is that you need to keep your resolve up. You need to rest assured that you're doing the right thing. Don't let anybody put you down for raising your children up in the Lord. And God is proud of how you're raising them. You have to set boundaries in place. And we live in a day and time where, it's looked at like, oh well, you don't let your child express themselves, you don't let them do what they what they feel, or what they feel is right. You got to let a child express themselves. Well, sometimes they can express themselves right into hell. So you know what I mean? So, and I do agree, you should let your child express themselves in art and in, and other things, and even, just, yes, let them create and let them showcase their talents. But there's certain things that, children want to do. You recall when you was a child, when you was growing up, I can recall myself, there's certain things that I wanted to do that just was not of God, that was just not right. And even if, even if you don't know the Lord, there used to be a time where, as a parent, where it was just like, it wasn't like, okay, anything goes. You set boundaries. You made sure that there was laws and rules that the child had to abide by. Your child is not going to understand. They're not going to say, I mean, most children are not going to be like, yes, mother, I understand, I would love to, yes, please put rules and boundaries on me. Most of them are not going to say that. But when they become of age, they will thank you that you did set rules and boundaries in place. But anyway, so God just wanted me to get on here to tell you that continue to set boundaries. And yes, sometimes it will seem like it will seem like the environment is contentious because the kid don't understand why they got to come home at a certain time. It sometimes it can be rough. It can be rough. And but God is just saying, continue to set those boundaries, keep those boundaries in place. You're doing the right thing by raising them up in the Lord. And don't let anyone come in and undermine your authority, because when you allow that to happen, the child is going to see that, and when it matters most, they're not going to respect what you have to say, because they know that they can go to, grandmom or grandpop or Uncle Billy Bob or whoever and just get whatever it is that they want. And sometimes what they want is not what they need. Sometimes what they want is not what they need, and sometimes what they want is not good for them. And so God gave you that specific child. He didn't give that child to anyone else but you. He gave you that specific child because you were the one that was going to be able to raise that child up in the Lord, and you were going to be the one to be able to discipline the child in the way that the child should be disciplined. Every child is different. You can't discipline like you could have twins and one child be one way, respond to one type of discipline, and the other child respond to another type of discipline. And so you can't, just because you are the same person don't mean that you would treat your children the same. So but God placed that child in your life for a reason, because you are the only one that is equipped to be able to bring that child up in the Lord, and also to be able to help that child with their God-given call, their God-given talent and abilities, and with their destiny. You're there to help them to launch, and you're there to help springboard them into their destiny. So yeah, I said it was gonna be short, but I kept going. But yeah, so that's basically it. Just be encouraged. Just know that you're doing the right thing, and you're going to have to not only continue to set boundaries for your children, but also set boundaries for those people that are coming in trying to undermine your authority. And like I said, some of these people don't have a hidden malicious agenda, but some of them do. I hate to say it, sometimes you can find parents who are jealous of they're jealous for whatever reason. They're jealous of their child, so now they're going to try to take the affection that and the respect that your child has for you, and try to take it from you and to put it on themselves. Don't ask me how or why. I don't know why, but I know there's some grandparents that do exist like that, that will try to come in and undermine your authority, and they do it on purpose for whatever for whatever's going on inside them that's unresolved, whatever healing that they didn't get healed from, whatever reason, they go ahead and they try to usurp your authority. So God is saying, watch for that. You might have to have those hard conversations with those people involved, because I know we would I'm saying we in general, we rely on family to help babysit and do whatever it is they need to do. So it's hard to come in and have those conversations with these with these caregivers and say, well, listen, you're stepping on my toes with this. But you may have to go in and have those hard conversations with them, and bear in mind, they could be very upset, and they could say, I'm not babysitting anymore or whatever. But at that point, you need to go to the Lord. Just go to the Lord and ask him how to deal with it. Okay. And but it is a very real thing. It's not something to take lightly, because you need that authority in place. Because it can have ramifications down the line when that child becomes older, and you really need that authority intact, especially with all the pitfalls that kids can fall into nowadays. And as a parent, we're there to protect them and keep them from harm, and we have boundaries in place to protect them. And I know I had mentioned food, but even down to the food is not something that is I made it seem like earlier when I was speaking about it, I made it seem like it's just a light thing, but it's not. Because what if you're dealing with a child who has health issues, and all the person that's undermining the authority, all they want to do is feed that child junk, when you're trying to help heal that child through food? And so it does become a big deal. It can even be a matter of life and death at a certain point. So God is just saying, keep your authority intact. Continue to raise that child the way that he has shown you to raise that child, and don't let anyone come in and try to stop what God is starting in that child's life. So and I feel that, don't let anyone come in and try to stop what God is doing in that child's life by undermining your authority and just thwarting the plans that God has for that child. And like I said, we might think it's just a light thing, and then next thing you know, that one light thing has derailed or stopped the trajectory of that child's destiny. Or now that child has to go around the mountain, which could have took that child a few years to get where he was trying to go in life, and now the child is taking 20 years out of their life just because you allowed someone to come in and undermine your authority. And like I said, I use the example of grandparents, but it could be society as a whole. It could be a society as a whole. Sometimes as a parent, you feel that pressure. All the rest of the kids is doing this, so and I'm the only one holding out, not allowing my kid to do this particular thing. And so you do feel that pressure, because then you have your child saying, well, why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? All it takes is 5 minutes to have, and I'm not saying live in fear, but it takes like 5 minutes to have something traumatic happen to your child, and then your child be just Not saying that they can't be healed, but just have your child just, traumatized, traumatized. And so, I think about my life when I was growing up. It was, far from perfect, but we had rules and things that were in place, and I didn't understand at the time. Well, why, I can't do this, and why I can't do that, and why everybody else is doing that. So and so got they allowed to have their boyfriend over their house in their room with the door shut. I don't understand. Why is my mom like this? It's my body. I couldn't back then. I just couldn't understand why she wouldn't allow. It sounds crazy to me now as an adult, but back then I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand it, and it was just like, why, why I couldn't have my boyfriend over, and or why I can't even have one, because my mom saw that she saw that I wasn't mature. She saw that, I would have just pretty much gave it to everybody at that time. She saw that I was not mature. And I thank God that she kept those boundaries in place. She kept those boundaries. So if it had not been for my mother, I would have been out there. I mean, out there. So, but anyway, I'm off of topic. So, but that's basically it. Don't let anyone undermine your authority, guys. Continue to raise your children in the Lord, and whatever specific instructions that God has given you for that particular child, continue to do it. Don't let anyone to make you feel bad about it, like you're doing something wrong, you're not letting your child live. Do what you gotta do. So God bless you. I love you, and I will see you next time.